Hi and welcome to another episode of PeaceMag TV. In today's video for WordPress, we're going to be starting a new series on WooCommerce. This first video I'm going to take you through and show you how to install the software, and in future installments we're going to take a look at how we can set everything up, configure it, take a look at product options, really dig deep into exactly how you can get the best out of WooCommerce. We're also going to take a look at some free and possibly some commercial add-ons that allow you to expand the core software to make it a fully fledged and very powerful e-commerce solution. So whether you're working on a budget where you don't have any money to spend at all, or you want to create something that is a feature-rich piece of software and you don't mind spending money, then this video series is definitely going to be for you. So stick around, subscribe to the channel and check the videos out. So to start off with, I'm in the dashboard of my WordPress installation, and as you can see I'm on the plugin section. We're ready now to install the WooCommerce plugin. So let's go and say search plugins, and we're going to look for WooCommerce. Search for that, and there you can see the first option now is WooCommerce. So all we need to do is hit install now and let that download the piece of software, and then we can start the installation process and we can go through the initial setup stages to get everything configured, ready to start working with this plugin and with our WooCommerce store. So there we go, everything is now downloaded, and once we activate the plugin it's going to take us through the wizard to go through and set up some basic information. Now as WooCommerce has developed, you tend to find that this has now become even easier to install, and a lot of the stages and a lot of the pages are automatically created for you, which is a very simple and straightforward process. So let's start off by activating the plugin, and once we've done that, that'll then load up the first step on the installation process. So as you can see now, we are ready to start installing. So from this point we can use the wizard, and as you can see it's purely optional. We don't have to do this. We can go and do everything manually if we want to. So we could hit not right now if we want to go through and configure everything later on ourselves, or we can hit let's go and start configuring some of the basics. So for this video we're going to do that. So let's hit let's go. That'll take us through to stage 1. As you can see, this is the basic setup. And what this is going to do is this is going to create some initial pages, essential pages that your site needs, such as a shop and basket and checkout and so on. If they're not already created, this will do it for us. So let's just say continue. Let it create those pages and set everything up on there for us. We can go in and configure and tweak those if we want to afterwards, so we can really get down and customize the layout. So don't think everything we're doing on this is written in stone. Everything we can go back and change it at any point. So the next thing we're going to do is specify where the store is located. Now for me, I'm going to set this up to be the UK. So I'm just going to go through and find United Kingdom. Pound sterling, you can see it automatically sets that because I've set my country to be UK. And you can see it's now setting up the weight and the size units to be kilograms and centimeters, but we can choose anything else we want from there, from kilograms, grams, pounds and ounces. And we can choose centimeters, meters, millimeters, inches and yards. So once you've chosen the weight and the dimensions that are relevant to you, hit continue, or alternatively you can skip this step and you can set it up later if you want to. We'll hit continue. Now we're going to move on to shipping and taxes. So you can see we have the option now, will we be shipping products? So if you're dealing with physical products, then yes, you're probably going to be shipping them. But if you're dealing with digital products, digital downloads, ebooks, music and things like that, then you can uncheck this if you don't want to ship anything. You can also choose whether we're going to be setting a sales tax. Now, for this example, I'm going to leave that as empty. We'll go in and configure that later on. And we'll hit continue again to move on to the payments section. So you can see now we have a range of different options that we can pick for our payment option. So we've got PayPal and Stripe, and we've got PayPal Standard, check payments, back transfer, and cash on delivery. There are additional options available, and you can purchase extra payment gateways, and we will take a look at what's available in a future video, and we concentrate on the whole payment gateway side of things. But let's start off by keeping this simple. We're going to say we're going to use PayPal Standard, and I'm also going to do cash on delivery because that'll allow me to go through and check out that my entire process of purchasing an item and go through the payment stages is working without me having to go through the process of setting up a sandbox on PayPal or any of the other sort of payment gateways we may want to use. So it's just a good starting point. So you can put your email address in there, and I'm going to put in just a test email address. And we say continue. And you can see now we're at the final stage where it tells us everything is ready to go, saying do we want to allow it to be even more awesome, allow WooThemes to collect non-sensitive diagnostic data and usage information. If this is something you don't mind doing, I would recommend clicking the find out more so you can see exactly what information they're going to be taking. But if you don't want to, you can click on no thanks. If you do, click on allow. You see we can tweak the fact that we've set up this store, and there's a couple of extra things. We've got next steps and a couple of different walkthrough videos and some extra information. So let's just say that we're happy with that. We can click on no thanks. I'm not going to worry about creating my first product. We'll take a look at doing that in a moment. But let's just say return to the WordPress dashboard, and let's take a look at what's happened. So the first thing you can see is that we now have some new panels on our dashboard. We've got recent reviews, and we also have the WooCommerce status, which will show us the net sales, the number of orders that are awaiting processing, how many low stock products we've got, if we've got any orders on hold, or if we've got any products that are out of stock. And as with all of these, you can turn those on and off just by using the screen options above. So you might not want to have those on there. Well, you can easily just enable or disable any of those panels at any point just by checking those and then just closing the screen options up afterwards. So let's just move that over there, and we'll say we'll have that over there. And obviously, as you start to take orders and you start to get reviews and things, these are going to start to populate with relevant information. But apart from that, we now have two new sections on the left-hand side. We've got WooCommerce, which we can go through, and we've got orders, coupons, reports, settings, system status, and add-ons. And we've also got products, which allows us to create new products, add products, categories, tags, and attributes to our products. So I'm going to go through and show you briefly the pages that have been set up and show you what's gone on with those. So if we just go to the pages section and we just choose all pages, we can now see that those pages that we said during the wizard setup, the basket, checkout, my account, and shop, have all been created for us. And if we take a look inside some of those, you'll see we now have short codes that are relevant to that specific pages function. So you can see we have the short code for the WooCommerce cart. If we go back and we take a look at checkout, for example, you'll now see we have the short code for WooCommerce checkout. So all those things have been done for us, but we can add those in at a later date if we want. And there's a short code list is all available to you. And I'll put a link to that in the description below so you can check out that information. Now, one of the other things to be aware of is if you are using a theme that has Visual Composer installed, or you purchase Visual Composer yourself to deal with creating more complex page layouts, then if we go into the backend editor and we take a look at adding some new information there, you'll see first of all that our short code has been replaced by this WooCommerce checkout widget. Now we can come in and we can add other things in there. So if we expand that out, now there's going to be a range of different things on here that are specific to some add-ons that I've got as part of Visual Composer, as part of this theme. But we're not worried about that. What we want to take a look at is all the WooCommerce options that now become available to us when we install WooCommerce and we have Visual Composer installed alongside it. So you see now we have a whole range of different tools. And if I filter these out just to show the WooCommerce ones, we've got a great range of new functions that are part of Visual Composer that allow us to create more complex looking pages with really detailed and feature-rich layouts. And we will be taking a look at how we can create custom layouts using that with Visual Composer later on down the line in a future video. But for now, it's just good to see that we have a whole range of options that we can start to tap into when we create our custom pages. So let's take a look at what WooCommerce actually gives us, where we can take a look at the setup. So let's come in and take a look at the settings, for example, and we can see some of the things we can configure in there. So even though we've gone through the wizard and we set some basic information up, if you remember back, I said nothing is written in stone, so we can come in and we can change things and add things and adjust things to just the way we like. So you can see where I didn't enable taxes earlier on, you can see all I need to do is check this box, and then we can start working with taxes and we can set up the tax rules and things. Again, we'll take a look at that in a future video. We can enable a site-wide store notice, and you can see we can set the currency if we wanted to change that. And you can see we can sell to specific countries. So we can say we've got a base location of UK, selling locations. Well, we might want to restrict this just to be in the country that we're based in. So what we can do is we can come into that and we can say sell to specific countries, sell to all countries except for, and then we can set some rules up for that, or we can sell to all countries. So let's just limit that. Let's go to sell to specific countries. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in the countries we want to sell to. And we'll say Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom. That's all we're going to do. As you can see, we can select all, we can select none. I see shipping locations, ship to all the countries you sell to, which, yeah, we don't want to ship anywhere else. Default customer location, well, we can geolocate that. No location, the shop base address, or the geolocate with page caching support. Sounds complicated, but we'll take a look at that in a future video. For now, we'll just leave geolocate on there. We'll hit save changes on there. And let's have a quick look at the product section. So you can see, as I said earlier on, we've set up kilograms and centimeters to be the weight and the dimension units we were using, but if we want to, we can change that to any of the ones that were previously available. We can also allow product ratings, and you can see there's a range of options for that. We can control the general, the display, the inventory, and downloadable products. So if we jump over to display, you can see there's a whole range of different settings we've got on there. So we can specify the catalog images, single product image, and product thumbnail dimensions. We can specify whether it hard crops them or just scales them. And you can see we've got a product image gallery, which uses the Lightroom or the Lightbox for product images. So it'll open up in a Lightbox effect. We can enable or disable that. You can see we can specify the pages that are being used for various different things. If we want to manage inventory, we can do that. So we can enable stock management. We can specify whether we want to deal with low stock notifications and things. Who gets the email if there's a problem, if we're running low stock. Do we want to hide items that are out of stock and so on. And we can deal with downloadable products as well. So you can see we can deal with how the product is downloaded. Do we want to deal with forced downloads or various other different methods? Do we want to download requires login, so they have to have an account. We can't, does not apply to guest purchase and things. You can see there's a whole range of different options on there. We can go through and we can deal with setting up shipping, and we've got, with one of the sort of the latest version we've got of WooCommerce, they really upped the game with the way that you can deal with shipping zones. And we'll take a look in a video dedicated to just dealing with shipping, because it's quite a complex subject. It can be very, very straightforward, or you can get to really complex if you want to deal with shipping to countries that you're not based in. So, you know, if you want to ship all over the world, then obviously there's different zones and regions and shipping methods you need to take into consideration. We've got shipping options and shipping classes. We can switch over to the checkout option. You can see we've got a range of different options. We want to allow coupons. How does the checkout process work? What are the pages being used on checkout? The checkout endpoints, the payment methods we've got set up. So again, you can see cash on delivery and PayPal were the ones we set up at the beginning. We didn't deal with direct bank transfer, but if we wanted to, we can easily come in and enable those. We can reorder them. We can say, well, PayPal is before cash on delivery. You know, you've got a range of different ways of controlling this. And as you can see, then we can go through to any of those pages and set up the relevant information. So if we wanted PayPal, for example, we can come into that. We can go through and set up the PayPal email, the description that the end user, the customer is going to see, the receiver email, any PayPal identity tokens, and so on. Again, a whole range of different options. And if you set up a PayPal account, then you'll tend to find that most of these options that are required will come through and tell you exactly, you know, what needs to go where. We can specify whether the payment method is capture or authorized. So if you don't want to take immediate payment, then you can control whether that's being done or not. You know, it's a lot on here. If we go to accounts, you can see we can specify how an accounts work, what pages are being used for various different sections of that. Emails, what emails are sent out when an order is placed, and a failed order, processing an order, and so on. And then you've got the API if you're dealing with linking this up through to other different applications and things. So again, you know, you've got a whole range of options in there. So let's now move on and take a look at the product section. Okay, so let's move on to the product section. So let's just click on products and let's take a look at what we have available in there. So you can see this now takes through a sort of wizard that allows us to create our first product. So let's go through step by step and create our very first products. We've got something on our store to start selling, and we can use that then as the basis of our testing. So let's create our first product. We're going to keep this very, very simple. You can see we've got a wizard that will take us through and tell us what each of the different key options are and how we can use them. So you can go through that if you want to. So we can say we want to give the product a name. So we're going to call this sample widget. We can give it a description. And for now, we'll just put some filler text in there. We haven't any categories set up yet, so let's create a new category. So we can click on add a new product category. And we're going to call this widgets. And we'll add that. So now that automatically links this product to widget, because it thinks that if you created a category while creating a product, chances are you're going to want that product to be linked to that category, which is fine. You can see then we've got a whole range of different information. Then we've got general, inventory, shipping, linked products, attributes, and advanced. We also have product tags. We can apply, if we scroll down, product image and product gallery. Now, if you're looking at this and think this is very complicated, this is part of a theme that I've got. It's a commercial theme. So the things like the header options and title bar and so on, they're theme specific. They're not part of WooCommerce. So we can just minimize those for now, and we'll just reorder some of these things so it makes a bit more sense for this particular section of our site. Okay, so we can now assign a product photograph. If we've got multiple images of that product, we can assign extra images to the product gallery. For now, I'm going to leave that empty. We'll take a look at adding a product image later on. You can see we've got different types of products, and that will affect what information is being displayed and what we need to fill out in this second section, which is the product data block. So you can see at the moment we have simple product, but we can also choose from group products, external affiliate products, and variable products. Now, variable products, if you consider something along the lines of a t-shirt, you could have a t-shirt that's in small, medium, large, extra large, but you could also have that t-shirt in black, white, red, green, blue, and all those color options. So there's a whole range of different variations, and that's where you start using things like variable products. We'll take a look at that in a dedicated video, in a future video. But for now, we know we can create all those different kinds of products. So we're going to keep this as a simple product to start off with. We can specify whether it's a virtual or a downloadable product. We can put a price in. If we want to run a sale price on it, we can do that. We can also schedule the price. So let's just say this is going to be $9.99 for now. It's not a virtual or downloadable product, it's a real product. Inventory. Do we want to deal with inventory? Well, we can do if we want to. We just need to check the enable stock management at product level, and that will allow us to control the number of products that we have in store at any one time. And if we've got everything configured nicely inside the WooCommerce settings for product management, then or stock management, then that'll configure and control the way that's handled in your website. For now, I'm not going to worry about it, but we're going to call this widg001 or widg. So we've given that an SKU code. Is it in stock? Yes, it is. Sold individually. Do you want to enable this to only allow one of its items to be bought in a single order? If you want that to be the case, such as a membership, for example, you might say, well, only one is available per customer. Then you can check that box and they're only allowed to buy one. Does it require shipping? If yes, you can set up your shipping class to choose how that's being shipped and the costs. You can also specify the weight and the dimensions. So if you're using a flat rate shipping fee, you can use the shipping class to do that. Or if you were basing it upon weight or dimensions, then you can use the calculations or the information that's being placed into these different boxes to calculate the overall shipping cost. For now, we'll leave that all as it is because we haven't set any of those shipping classes up yet, and we'll look at that further on down the line. Do we have any linked products? Is this product linked to an additional product? So say, for example, widget A required widget B and C, then you could specify those linked products. You can group them together. You can upsell or cross-sell. So you can control that. And all you need to do is start typing the product name in there, and it'll start to search through your site's database. And when it finds something that matches that, it'll allow you to quickly add that in there, and you can apply that to as many upsells or cross-sells as you want. And depending upon the theme and the design that's being used for your web store, then that'll sort of dictate exactly how it looks. But normally, this will be underneath the product description and options on your page. And you've probably seen it on things like Amazon, where you can buy another product. It's a more expensive version of your widget, or you can cross-sell to other things that are related to that product. Well, you can control exactly what products fit into those particular categories, or if you want to group things together. Attributes. This is something that starts to get a bit more complicated. You can have different attributes that are assigned to a product, and we'll take a look at assigning attributes and creating attributes in a future video. But for now, we're going to leave that blank, and we'll take a look at that, like I say, further on down the line. And then finally, we have advanced. So you can apply purchase notes, you can specify the order inside menus, and you allow reviews to be enabled or not. So we'll say, yes, we want reviews on there. So we put the basic information in there. If we wanted to apply some product tags to allow people to filter based upon other criteria that don't fit into our categories, then we can apply product tags, and then any product that falls into that tag group, when that tag is clicked, then it will take them through and show them all the products that fall into that particular tag. It's a great way if you've got a complex layout, or you've got products that don't naturally fit in other areas and you don't want to put them in other categories, but you'd like to link those products together. That's a good way of doing it, is by using product tags. And we'll take a look at that as well when we start to really focus in on creating more complex products. But for now, we can hit on publish, and then that's our first product basically set up. You can see we need to add some shipping zones, and like I say, we'll take a look at that a little bit later down the line. We can also apply in there a short product description. So what we'll do is we'll come into that and we'll just put that in and we'll just strip out some extra information in there. So we've got a shorter description. Now this is kind of dependent upon the theme that you're using, and different themes will show different layouts, but it's worthwhile having those in there because you can use different keywords and phrases, and that's good for your search engine optimization and to allow people to find those products. So we'll hit update on that, and that's our first product created. So if we click on products now, we can take a look at, there's our product. So we can do our normal things on there. We can just come in, we can edit it, quick edit it, we can chuck it straight in the bin, we can view it, or we can duplicate it. So if we wanted to create widget 2, which was just a slight variation upon the first one, instead of having to go through the entire process of creating everything from scratch, we could duplicate that and then just quickly go in, edit the product and change the information to what's relevant to the second product, or the third product, the fourth product, and so on. So it's a quick way of working. If we want to go in and check the categories we've created, or we want to create new ones, you can see we can do that from within this section. And if you're familiar with WordPress, then all this layout is going to look very, very familiar, especially if you're used to dealing with the blog section, which has tags and categories, and it works in a very, very similar fashion. If we go into tags, you can see that any of the tags we create now, or when we create them with a product, they'll all be listed in this section, and you can see we've got descriptions and slug, which we can control the actual link that's going to be clickable. So we can make that a nice SEO link if the description or the product name, or the tag name isn't necessarily that descriptive. So we can, we get full control over that, and it'll tell us the number of products that are associated with that specific tag as well. And then finally, we've got the attributes section, which, like I say, we'll take a look at in more detail, where we create some attributes and assign those to products. But you can see we can come into this section and we can control exactly what's being used, how we set them up, the names, the slug, the type, and order by and terms, and so on. So that's the basics of installing WooCommerce. We've gone through and created our first product. We've created a category for that product to go in. We've taken a look at some of the settings when we've seen exactly how easy it is to change any of the settings we previously configured. So that pretty much wraps up this first video on WooCommerce. In the next video, we're going to go through and we're going to start creating the pages and fleshing those out. So we've got a fully fledged site ready to start adding our products. We're then going to take a look at linking things into Slider Evolution, so we can have an eye-catching slider on our homepage and any other page we want that links through to the products that we have available to us, so we can update the products and update the slider automatically. So whenever anybody lands on the site, they're going to get a really nice looking eye-catching slider at the top of the page that drives that traffic through to help with your sales. Well, if you found this video useful, hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the new content we add every single Wednesday. If you have any comments or questions on this video or anything else covered on the channel, pop those in the comment section below. We read everything you post and we try to answer as many questions as possible. Until next time, take care.